So you don't want to have an induction,
I did not.
and they're about to schedule you for an induction?
Before they were about to schedule me for an induction,
Yeah.
they were trying to say, "Oh, you might need to come back tomorrow or
Right.
something." And I was like, I don't want to be induced.
Yeah.
Help. So we call you, and where are you?
I'm in Chicago.
She's in Chicago. She is in Chicago.
I'm in Chicago.
So another reason I'm like, this cannot happen. This can't
I
happen.
am freaking out. Welcome to Positive Birth Experience. I'm MaryNissi, your host, where we're changing the narrative about birth, like one positive story at a time. And today we have Amanda with us.
Hello.
Thank
I'm
you
Amanda.
so much. Oh my God. Thank you so much for being here.
Of course.
I know that it takes some stuff it takes a lot to move around to make this happen.
These days.
So I am very, very grateful that you're here.
No problem.
So tell us about you, and then tell us, like, how old were you when you were giving birth to your baby girl?
Yes. So I was 32
Okay.
when I gave birth to my baby girl, Aria, who is now 13 months. I know. It's crazy to think that that was a year ago. I'm from this area, Philadelphia area.
Yeah.
I'm a teacher. So my mom is Black, my dad is white.
Okay.
So we get that a lot. So my husband's actually Indian.
Yeah.
My whole life, people have asked me if I'm Indian, and then I
And
married
then
an
you
Indian
married
guy.
Indian guy.
So now my daughter is Indian.
I love it.
But I am not, for anybody wondering. Yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Cool. Thank you. No, thank you for sharing. I always think, like, it's so beautiful to kind of like talk about who we are and our background
Yeah.
and where we come from. Because, like, I think the whole beauty about birth is that it looks so different for, like, so many different people. And that's
Definitely.
the beauty of it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so I'm always like, tell us about yourself. Like, this is because that's what makes you unique. Tell us about your pregnancy. Like, so how did you, like, plan? How did you prepare? Did you
Okay.
plan to have a baby, like, at the time that you were pregnant?
Yes.
Okay.
So we did plan to have a baby around that time. We figured we got married in 2022.
Yeah.
And our biggest goal was we wanted to have at least 1 year
Mm-hmm.
to ourselves.
Yes.
To just, a little bit of traveling.
Yeah.
We just got a new house,
Mhm,
just
mhm.
have that time without a baby.
Yeah.
And then, so it was intentional. It wasn't like, oh no,
Yeah.
what's going on
Yeah,
here?
yeah,
When like finding out that I was pregnant, like what did we do to prepare and plan?
Mhm,
Well,
mhm.
we called you.
I always think about Alvin. I think he called me or texted me. I couldn't remember like what it was.
Mhm.
He called me because we were camping.
Okay.
We were camping. Right? So for everybody's context, like, I've known, Alvin before I knew you.
Yes. So yeah, MaryNissi and Alvin, my husband, were friends
Yes.
first.
Yes. Yes.
And I will never forget the day I met MaryNissi. Because I
Yeah.
feel like she was low-key grilling me.
No, I forever regret that day. I was like, what did I do?
But
I asked you
now,
all the questions.
Alvin jokes about it. He's like, I feel like you talk to MaryNissi more than I do, and she's become more of your friend.
He did. He
than
texted
my
me. He was
friend.
like, you're my friend first. I was like, I'm so sorry.
I don't think that, that's important.
Right.
Anymore. But yes, so we did have, that connection,
Yeah.
which does make me wonder if we didn't already know you, would having a doula had like come to my mind.
Right.
A part of me wants to say maybe because
right.
I've seen doulas on Instagram,
Yeah.
but up until this point I didn't have any friends who
Mhm,
used
who
a
would-
doula. I didn't
yeah.
have many friends who had babies.
Right.
It's funny because afterwards my best
Everybody-
friend finds out
Yep,
she's pregnant and
everybody
she
had
calls
babies.
me to find your contact info. I find 2 other friends who were talking to you and
Yes.
used you for
Yes.
many things.
Mhm.
So I want to say maybe I would have sought
Yeah.
it out, but I don't know 100% if I would have, but I am
Right,
glad that
right.
I did. So of course I did do the usual Google searching,
Yes.
which I'm sure everybody does when they find out that they're pregnant. And then you call the doctor's office and they're like, great, we'll see you in like 2 months or whatever.
It's the worst thing ever.
The amount of
You
weeks
like,
is.
what do you mean?
I'm like, I have to wait this long to come in for an
know.
appointment. So half of that time, I'm like, "Am I really pregnant? Like,
100%.
was this test telling me the
This is
truth?"
true.
Like, it was like a lot of it was
It's
mental
so
for me, to be honest.
true.
Like,
No, you're right.
so a
It was
lot of
like
my preparation was getting my mental space together.
mm.
We also did have one miscarriage first.
Right, 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 right,
So
right, right,
it was
right.
only about 5, 6 weeks along.
Mhm, mhm,
So,
mhm.
definitely a painful memory,
Mhm,
but,
mhm, mhm,
we were able to recover, I guess fairly quickly from it. So
mhm.
that played in my mind too, like, well, is this real this time?
Yeah, yeah.
And then had to put the doctor's appointment in the calendar. Like, I can't believe I have to wait all this
All
time
this
to go
time.
into the doctor's office for
Yeah.
them to, but they did order the blood test. And seeing that number compared to my number the first time
Mhm,
gave me a
mhm.
lot of
You're
confidence.
like,
But we still waited until that appointment to tell you. And I think that's when you were camping
oh,
and we
got you,
called you
got you,
to
got
tell
you, got
you because
you.
I was like, I just want to wait.
Yeah,
I
let's
just want to
just
make
yes,
sure
yes, 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 yes.
before. I feel like you gave a lot of advice on like ways to physically prepare,
Mhm, mhm,
ways to mentally prepare. I did do like affirmations every day, like
mhm,
in the car
mhm.
on the way to work.
That's right.
Um, prayer was definitely helpful during
Mhm,
this time.
mhm, mhm,
I was pretty active before getting pregnant, so I wanted to
mhm,
make sure I continued to do that.
mhm.
Although, full transparency, I got to a point where I couldn't do my Peloton rides
I
anymore
remember
because every time
that.
I would get on the bike, I had to
You have to pee.
pee.
I
And it's like,
remember
I didn't want to get off the bike every 10 minutes to pee.
that. You were like, I cannot continue. I have to pee every
So I just did my
second.
yoga
yeah.
and went for my walks,
Hmm.
and that did, I feel like, help me prepare.
Yeah. We did a class together. So, because I
We
remember
did.
that, because that was part of like,
Yes.
I used to kind of like have, and I think I had told you this before, I used to have like group classes. And I
Yes.
think that was just dwindling down at that point.
Hmm.
So I was just doing like personalized like
Yes.
classes.
Which was
So
very nice because you came to
I know
us
I
and you
was
brought all of your
yours.
doula
All my
things,
stuff.
the peanut ball, the big bouncy
Yes, we
ball.
have pictures.
We definitely
And
have
your dogs were
pictures.
right there,
Yes. Yes, they were.
part of the class,
They were part of a lot of things. Part of the class,
part of the birth.
part of the
Oh my
birth, part of
god!
labor.
Yes,
If you have dogs, be prepared for them to be part of
I
the experience.
know. So you planned, the physical aspect, the spiritual part. Because I remember you would
Hmm.
share that like on your drive to work, that was time for prayer, that was time for affirmations.
Yep.
And did you know what kind of birth you wanted?
So I do remember the first time you asked me that question,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and I just remember not much coming to mind. Just feeling like I wanted it to be an overall good experience.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
that was
Mm-hmm.
really the only thing I could think of was
Yeah.
I just want this to be a good positive experience. Like I want
Mhm,
to look
mhm,
back on this
mhm.
and feel like, "Oh, like have positive memories, enjoyable memories. Like I didn't want it
Mm.
to be traumatic."
Yeah.
Like that was literally like my bar.
That was literally what you said to me
Because
too.
you do hear a lot.
Yes.
At that time, I had
Yes.
a couple, not a lot, but a couple of friends who
Yeah.
had babies, one of which had a pretty difficult experience for her first one.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
when that's what's fresh in your mind, when
Yeah.
are asked that question, it's kind of like, well,
Yeah.
I just want it to go smoothly.
Yes.
I just, want everything to be
Yes.
okay.
Yes. I remember that. And you had some ideas though, right? To what that would look like, specifically with like I remember around like, whether you want to unmedicated or medicated birth.
So honestly, I feel like I was still on the fence
You were
about
still in the
that. I was.
fence. You're
So I was
right.
I was on the fence,
Yeah.
guys, because here's the thing. You can prepare and plan, but at
Yeah.
the end of the day, especially when it's your first, like you
Yeah.
don't
You
know.
don't
So I
know.
didn't
Yeah.
there was a
Yeah.
part of me that wanted to fully with confidence be like, I want to do this unmedicated.
Mhm. Mhm.
But I felt
Mhm.
like I couldn't fully tell myself that without like knowing
What it's
like
gonna actually
yeah,
feel
because
like.
then I didn't want to disappoint myself if I changed my mind.
100%.
So
100%.
I just got to a point where I was like, well, we talked through options and
Yeah.
like talked to the hospital and the doctor, like what are like alternatives to an epidural.
Mhm.
Where
Mhm.
I was, it was great experience at the hospital that I
Yeah.
was at,
Yeah.
but they didn't have many other like pain management like options
Yeah.
that I
Yeah.
know are available in other places.
Yeah. Yeah.
So my goal was to just go for it.
Yeah.
But then if I feel like I need the epidural, get it.
Then you get it. Right.
And spoiler alert, I got
I remember that. I
it.
remember.
I
Right. You
did.
did say that. You said I want to go with the flow and kind
Yeah.
of like see how it goes. Do you think that's connected to like just like who you are as a person? Like, are you that person who
Yeah.
kind of like we'll like, prepare and then we'll like go with the flow with how things work.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think that I don't know, where it falls on the type A, type
Oh, yeah,
B
yeah. The whole
scale.
listen, there's a lot
I
of
know I'm not type
type A.
A.
Got you, got you.
Like, but I'm also not, like, just flying,
Yeah.
like, by a whim all the
Yes.
time
I get to
either.
be that person.
I gave it a shot.
Yeah.
I made it as far as I could
Yes.
until I said, "You know what, guys? I'm gonna
I'm
need
gonna
that
get an
epidural
epidural
now."
to get some rest. Yes, we will dive into it in a second for sure. I think, one of the things I keep saying is like whoever we are is who we bring into this like birthing space, right? Because
Yeah.
people are always like, "Girl, you go be someone else." I'm like, "No, you're not."
Right. Yeah,
And
yeah.
when you
I
said
remember you
that,
talking to me about that before too. I'm like,
right,
"Okay, that makes a lot of sense."
right, because as you share, you're like, I went with the flow. I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's who you are." Like you are
Yeah.
that person who's like, you are gonna plan. You're gonna like have things that you put in place, and you're
Yeah.
gonna be like, and then we'll figure out,
Yep.
right? Like that. You have that openness to you where like, okay, and I'm open to what this might look like. Let me take a second and share with you about the Doula Guide Bundle, something I created after 10 years of supporting families through pregnancy, birth, and postpartum. It includes the same step-by-step tools I use with my clients to help them feel confident, prepared, and grounded. So you can grab the full bundle or get them individually down below. Let's dive in. Let's dive into this birth.
Okay.
You gotta. Where did we stop at? The call? Okay, so we're done talking on the phone.
Yes. And I think we sent you then are you talking about, like, when we first told you that we were pregnant?
No. So you called me. We're
About the induction.
yes.
Okay, so yes, although I was willing to go with the flow, that was a
Yes.
river I was not trying to flow
There we go.
through. Um
I love that. That was not it. That was not the room.
Like, of course, like, I know that certain things happen for certain reasons.
Yes.
And I know that there are a lot of positive births where there either was an induction
Mhm.
or a C-section.
Mhm,
But
mhm,
for
mhm.
me, those were two things I really just did not want.
Mhm.
So the reason why they wanted to induce me originally
Yeah.
was because my baby was measuring small.
Mhm.
Around the third trimester, they asked us to come in for appointments every week.
That's right.
So every Tuesday I did,
Like
and this
teacher
is
did
separate from the like regular, just like
right.
OBGYN
Right.
appointments,
And mind you, you were like in
which
a
are
classroom.
bi-weekly at this point.
They're bi-weekly at this point.
Yes. Oh, and I'm a teacher.
But you're a teacher trying to do a weekly
Yes. So at
extra
one point, I
appointment.
just had like standard sub plans. Like my poor class was doing the same thing every Tuesday afternoon.
There we go. That worked.
They survived. It was close to the end of the school year. I love that
They
group of
did
kids.
right. They didn't mind it.
Everything was great.
Yeah.
They knew like, oh, she's an appointment today. She's leaving early. We got to be good for the sub.
I love it.
Which most of the time they were. At the appointments, they get the tape measure and they measure your belly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which for me, I was like, man, this is the time where I'm supposed to have a really like big belly. Like, where is it? Like,
Yeah.
where are you?
Yeah.
Like, are you in here? Like, I had a belly, but it wasn't like,
I know.
I'm seeing pictures of people, which, comparison is not a fun
Like,
game.
yeah, because
But
people
I'm
have like
seeing,
their
right,
You're like, where's
pictures of
mine?
people that are further or not as far along as me, and their bellies look so much bigger. So my belly was measuring small,
Yeah.
which then prompted them to set me up for another ultrasound to
Mhm.
do a growth check.
Mhm.
And then according to that growth check, I forget the number. I want to say maybe 7. I think she was in like the 7th percentile.
Mhm.
So every week I then had to go, starting at the third trimester, I went every week for the non-stress test and an ultrasound.
Mhm.
So that was like 3 separate things that had to do
Oh my god.
on those visits.
Wow.
So first one, they hook you up to a little ultrasound machine, but it's like
Yeah.
a test. Like there's like I think 10 points that the baby has to get.
Yeah.
Which she passed with flying colors each
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Then the non-stress test, they put the, straps on
Yep,
you,
yep,
and you have a
yep.
button that you press every time you feel the baby move. Then another like full-on ultrasound. So cool thing about it for a person who was a little anxious through their pregnancy, every week I got to
Every
see
week I
she's
got to
good.
see all is well. I
Like
see
it
her
was a
there.
hassle, but then that was something we looked at as a positive.
yeah,
It's like,
yeah,
hey,
yeah,
this
yeah.
is the like most people don't get
Most
to
people don't
see
get
their
to
baby this much or
see.
hear like the heartbeat this often. So
100%.
in the grand scheme of
Oh, I
things,
love that.
it was cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
But because she was showing growth, but it wasn't at the number that they wanted.
Mhm, mhm.
So they had started telling me like, months prior, like, your OBGYN is probably going to recommend you getting induced, which
Mhm.
I didn't understand. So immediately we called MaryNissi back when it was just a conversation,
Right,
not when they were saying
right,
like
this
you
is
should
true.
probably go
Mhm.
tomorrow. Um to talk to you about it
Mhm.
because I wasn't fully understanding, like, if you need more, like, she needs to grow more,
Right.
like, why would you want to take her out
Out.
early?
Mhm.
But the concern with her being small was there an issue with the placenta not getting
Right.
nutrients? So once it hits a certain point,
Mhm.
it would be wiser for her to get her nutrients outside
Outside.
of the body.
Mhm.
So, I guess the logic started to make a little more sense to me,
Mhm.
but I still just didn't want to do
Mhm. Mhm.
it
Mhm.
because I didn't want to put my body in a position that it wasn't ready for, which I feel like can happen
Mm.
sometimes
Right. Right.
with inductions. So
Right.
it was a constant like
It
conversation, but
was.
then we didn't really hear anything about it for a little while.
Yeah.
So I thought we were in the clear.
Yeah.
But then kind of fast forward a little bit to one of my usual Tuesday appointments,
Yes.
which by this time it's end of the third trimester. So
Right.
it's Tuesday all day appointments because I have the regular doctor appointment too.
Mhm.
And they, they bring it up again. And then they're like, all right, well, let's go to when you go to your next like non-stress test and all of that at the
Mhm.
prenatal center,
Mhm.
because I was in a different location, then we'll see like what her final growth will be. So we go to that
Mm.
appointment,
Mhm.
and this is, mind you, again, teacher, this is the last day of school. My due date was June 28th,
Mhm.
and this is June 12th. My husband came and picked me up from work. And you
Mhm.
know how like it is like when you're a teacher, you pack up your classroom every year because they go in and clean like over
Yeah.
the summer.
Mhm. Mhm.
So I have a car full of teacher materials, especially
Mhm.
knowing I'm about to take a leave.
Yes.
So I
Yes.
brought more
All.
stuff home than I normally would.
Yeah.
And they're doing the stuff, and my amniotic fluid is measuring like really low. So they're
Mhm.
like, yeah, so we might need to send you to triage today. I'm like, the bag's not packed. My car is full of teacher things. And that was when we called you.
This was the Chicago trip. That's where
Yes.
and I was not
Yes. And you were like,
here.
whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not there. Like, make
Mhm.
sure and MaryNissi, like she offered to, be on the phone with us in the room with
Mhm.
the doctor.
Mhm.
But then we moved to the next ultrasound technician, and she was able to find enough pockets of fluid, which
Not
my
enough
fluid was
pockets.
low,
Mhm.
like on the lower end, which it's a long range. I
Yeah.
think it's like 5 to 25 or something like
Yeah.
that, 5 to 20.
And what number were you?
They were struggling to find 5 that day. But I was
Okay.
always around like 6, 7, 8. Like I was
Mm.
always on that lower end. So they came back in the room, they're like, "You live to see another week." Like, great.
Great. Thank you.
So then at the next appointment, they had told me, like at this point, because of her numbers, we still do recommend an induction.
Mhm. Mhm.
So now
Mhm.
I'm feeling torn. We both are, me and my husband are feeling
Mhm.
torn between like taking medical advice
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I will say that although it was recommended to me and I didn't want that, I
Yeah.
didn't feel like pushed or unsafe,
Mhm.
thankfully,
Mhm.
because I know that
Mhm.
that can be a lot of women, especially Black women. They don't
For
feel
sure.
heard.
For
They
sure. For
don't feel
sure.
seen
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
they're not being heard or seen
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
listened
Mhm.
to in these spaces at times.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
thankfully, I didn't feel like that.
Mhm.
So I did kind of feel like, what if something does go wrong
Mhm. Mhm.
because I chose not to do what they're saying?
Yeah.
But then at the same time, I'm also like, but I feel like they're being overly cautious,
Mhm.
and they like the hospital, they just want to cover their butts just
Mhm.
in case.
Mhm. Mhm.
So what we ended up doing was we set the appointment anyway.
Mhm. Mhm.
And we were just like, we'll still like continue to think about this and we'll see how. So we set the appointment for a Thursday,
Yeah.
but we still have these standing Tuesday appointments.
Mhm.
So we're like, all right, when we go on Tuesday,
Mhm.
we will then like make that decision from there.
Mhm. Mhm.
Well, the decision was made for us because that Sunday night, I'm at a cookout at a friend's house. I
Mhm.
just had a nice big old plate of Jamaican food.
You remember too.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was great. It was great. And I start feeling something that feels like a period cramp.
Mhm.
And I'm like, it's a little weird.
Just a
Never
little
felt
bit.
this before.
Uh-huh.
So go home, go to bed, wake up. I still feel like that. And that was when I texted you,
Mhm.
like, hey, like I kind of am like feeling cramps.
Mhm.
And you're like, great.
Right. This is
I'm
what we
like,
need. We need a sign. We need
yeah, I'm like, so
something.
does that mean that like things are moving in the right
You
direction?
did ask that. You
And you
did.
were like, yeah, like just go about your day as
Mhm.
normal.
Mhm.
And I did. Like, it was Sunday, it was Father's Day. I went to church. We went out to brunch with my uncle. But by the time I'm sitting at brunch, I'm noticing I'm feeling it about every like hour, hour and a half. So then I get home and I call you. I was on a curb walk, something that you taught me about. I was curb walking.
Uh-huh.
And at one point on the curb walk, I had to stop and breathe for a second. So I was like, wait a second, these little
This
period cramp things are coming a little intense. So
again,
again, I'm texting you and you're like, yeah, so those aren't cramps, those are contractions. I was like, okay.
This is what this is.
Yeah. So I finished my 45-minute walk, which,
Nice.
funny note to this story, I'm not really into astrology. I really don't. Don't
I'm
tell me what your
listening.
sign is because
Yeah.
I'm not going to
You
know.
know, you're like, oh, I'm great.
I
know what
really
that is.
don't
Yeah.
know. But I have a friend who is a Cancer, and Aria's original due date was like Cancer season.
Okay.
Mind you, I'm friends with my friends on like the Apple Watch.
Yes, yes.
So
yes.
when the thing popped up on her watch that I did this long walk, like they were cracking up. One of my friends said something like, "What are you taking this Juneteenth freedom walk for? Like, why are you walking? Why are you marching around?" I'm like, because guys, they're trying to induce me and I'm trying to do
I'm
everything that I can
Yes.
to not let that happen. And
That's
sure enough,
hilarious.
it seemed to work. And she did not make it to Cancer season. She's a Gemini, whatever that means.
Right.
But so that night I go to lay down to watch the current thing I was binging on Netflix, and I'm starting to feel it more. So for kicks and giggles, I decided to start putting the notes, like put it in my notes for my phone, like how often this is happening. I'm noticing it's like every 20 minutes. I try to lay down to go to sleep. I can't sleep. I think I called you at like 2:00 in the morning.
Thanks. Was
Yeah.
it? It was okay.
Which I was very impressed that you answered, and you're like,
yes,
that's
because
kind
I'm
of
on
my
call,
job.
right?
Yeah. You're like, it's kind of my job to
Yes.
answer. Like, it's
Yes.
totally fine. Like, this is what you have me for. And I was expecting, guys, I think I was expecting her to be like, I'm coming over right now. Her energy was very calm.
Yeah.
And you're just like, okay, yep, you're going to need as much rest as you can get. So, if you want to just sit on your couch, like if laying down is uncomfortable, like just try to close your eyes and get as much rest as much rest as you can because you're going to need it. And I was like, oh, she's not coming. Okay. So
Even though I'm around the corner,
right.
she's not coming.
Which rightfully so. Good thing you didn't, or else you would have been up for like 24 hours as well.
Right.
So I went in like we had like, thankfully her room was set up, even though this was 10 days earlier than it's supposed to be, but thankfully all that was already done.
Yeah.
And I just sat in the lounge chair like this. And every 10 minutes woke up like, and then closed my eyes again. I let my husband sleep. So I was like, you're going to need like energy too. Like you don't need to not sleep because I'm like, in and out of sleep right now. So, but by the time he woke up, it's now Monday morning. We had plans to go to Costco that day. He was supposed to go to work.
Costco's like you guys think.
It is.
In fact, when I think about Costco, I think of you guys.
We love Costco. If anybody from Costco is watching and would like to offer us something, we'll happily accept.
We would take it. Thank you very much. With open arms.
We are Costco people. But I just looked at him and I was like, yes, so all that stuff we have planned today, it's not gonna happen because like this is happening.
This is happening in this moment.
So thinking about like preparing, we had gone through like, I wouldn't call it a birth plan because you told us not to say plan, but birth preferences. And we had also talked about like, maybe having like some meals and things ready. That was the point of the Costco trip that didn't happen.
You were supposed to go make meals to
Yeah.
prepare for a postpartum.
Yeah. So, thankfully, shout out to just like friends and family and
Yes,
having a village
yes.
because we needed some people to come through
100%,
for us around that
100%.
time. So I think it was around like noon-ish. You made your way over.
Yep. I
still
remember it was like
very
daylight.
calm.
Yeah.
Like just like show me what you've been doing this whole time. And then, you just walked us through it. We did another walk. We did all the different like positions, and something back into the preparation was you also worked with my partner on how to support me. So the birth team was husband, you, and my mom. So there was always somebody kind of available
Yeah.
to help.
Mhm.
And the dogs were just like
Right
at my
there.
feet, like
Right.
looking very
They were
concerned,
very concerned.
the whole time. Another funny tidbit into your calm energy, I
Mhm.
did have a couple thoughts where I
Uh-huh.
was like, why is she still so chill?
I'm cracking up.
Why are
And
we
you
not
know I'm
getting in
not
the
that
car
chill
yet?
in
I know. It's like, but I know, especially
Mhm.
looking back on it, it was because you were taking into consideration what I said I wanted,
Mhm,
which
mhm, mhm.
was to be like, in my own space
Mhm,
and
mhm,
not
mhm.
stressed like for as long as possible.
Mhm, mhm.
I wasn't thinking about that at the
Of
time
course.
when things were just a little painful.
Yeah.
That day, the hospital called me
That's right.
to say like, "Hey, we actually have an available appointment
That's
if you
right.
wanted to
Like, we
come
have
in
a bed
today
for
for
you.
your induction." And I was like, "Haha." Funny story. I was going to call you guys today because
I'm
I'm
in
definitely in
labor.
labor.
Yes.
So it was pretty long. Everything kind of started Sunday night.
Mhm, mhm,
We
mhm.
didn't go to the hospital until about what?
No, Monday
It was
night.
Monday
Monday
night.
night.
And I think we left. It was dark outside.
It was
S-
closer
It was like 8,
to
9 o'clock, right?
mhm.
Because what really was the last straw for me, which you can hop in here.
Wait, but before you go there, you labored at home. Like, I think one of my favorite memories is going outside, walking for like the 20th time,
Uh
right?
huh.
Because we were like trying to find like different
Yes,
rhythms for
majority
you,
of my
right?
labor was at home.
Yes. And I just remember like walking like on the street, like it's you, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
your hubby. I don't remember who had the water bottle. Was it me or him? I can't
I
remember.
don't
Oh,
remember.
right? And your neighbors, like we had like cars
Yeah, people were like
honking,
honking.
and like congratulate you got this. I think somebody said
Yeah,
you got
I
this.
think
I was
so.
like, oh
That was very
my
sweet. Shout out to my neighbors. I'm getting pretty uncomfortable, so we
god.
decide to do the bath.
Right.
Because I did a shower earlier and that felt good, but I
Mhm.
hadn't done a bath. So we never used a tub before.
Yeah,
So I'm in the tub and I'm like, oh, this is
this is
great. Like
it.
I can hang on
Uh
home
huh.
a little while longer.
Mhm.
Then we hear my mom yell from downstairs, Alvin? The water from the tub
From the tub.
was leaking
True story.
through the ceiling into the
To the
kitchen,
kitchen.
out of like the recessed lights.
Uh huh. And I was like, oh
So
my
like
god.
we're mad about that, but
Yeah.
like clearly it's not the most important thing in the world
Yes.
right now. So
But it totally like messed up the whole vibe.
it did. It completely messed up the vibe because then I'm still trying to keep a good attitude.
Yes.
So I'm like, all right, I'll go back to the shower.
Yeah.
But the bath was really enticing to me because I didn't want to stand. Get back in the shower and the hot water's gone.
And that's right. Oh, I forgot about that.
So at that point, I got out of the shower.
You
I
were
looked at
like,
Alvin and I said, you need to tell MaryNissi that I don't want to be home anymore. I think I want to just go to the hospital. I think I want the drugs because I just don't want to
you
do this
were
anymore.
over it.
Because at this point, it's been like 24 hours
Yes.
almost,
Yes.
and I was tired.
And you're tired.
And I remember coming downstairs and my mom being like, you're doing great. I'm so proud of you. And I was like, everybody told me I wasn't mean, but I guess in my head I thought
Really?
I was.
No, not at all.
That's the reaction that I got.
Not at all.
But I just remember thinking like, I mean, I have no other choice. Like, how am I doing a good job? I'm just doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And then I remember her also saying, like, I remember telling you, I was like, I think I'm gonna cave, like, I think I'm gonna get the epidural. And she was like, well, I know you can do this if you wanted to. I said, I can do all things through Christ,
You better.
but I don't want to. Like,
I'm gonna quote scripture and then I'm gonna tell
yeah,
you
but
that
I don't actually want to
no,
do that
I'm not.
anymore. I would actually like a little bit of relief.
Mm-hmm,
Because it was feeling it was just getting on top of each other.
Yes.
So we get in the car, we get there. Although we go to the doctor's office once a week, Alvin makes a wrong turn
That's right.
into the post office parking lot. At this point, I feel like she's about to come out of my
You
butt.
were
I'm like in my seat like this. Like,
make this wrong
then
turn.
we get there, and my mom rams me into the wall with the wheelchair, and I'm just like, what is
What's
happening?
happening?
What is my birth team doing?
Right. Boo, you're not doing this right.
Triage was extremely quick. They do the check
That's
and they
right.
say, "Oh, you're 7 centimeters. You can go back right now."
Mhm.
And then they even sped up the epidural for me
Yep,
because they
yep.
were afraid that I was going to miss the window. So I don't regret the decision, although it did then make things longer. So the epidural slowed things down for me. She was not born until 4:47.
That's right.
a.m. And we checked in around maybe by the time it was all said and done, it was
Yeah.
probably like 10 p.m.
Right.
So it slowed things down a lot.
Mhm.
I pushed for a total of 2 hours, which sounds overwhelming, but when it's
Mhm.
happening every 6 minutes
Right.
and you're having breaks in between, it really
Right.
wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
So pushing
Yeah.
was cool because it's like
Yeah.
you're really getting somewhere now.
Right? Like we're talking, it feels good. I
Yeah.
think pushing feels good.
Yeah, and the encouragement, like everybody
Yes.
like cheering me on,
Yeah.
that was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you were rested.
Yeah, I definitely like clearly I didn't fall asleep,
Right.
but contractions went from feeling like, oh my gosh, I can't breathe,
Yeah.
to I think that was one.
No, it was
I'm not gonna lie,
and you
that
had
was
been
nice.
having contractions for a long time, right? Like
Yeah.
we talk about labor. Labor is labor. It's a lot on the body, and you're
Yeah.
so exhausted.
Yeah.
Like you really are, and you got the chance to like rest. We all did. Shoot.
Yeah.
First of all, your hubby did not sleep because he could
didn't.
not.
He didn't.
He
Yeah.
he was just he could. I was like, Adam, I need you to like just like no, he couldn't. He was just like, this is my wife. Like,
Yeah.
I would do anything. And I'm like, sleeping would be one of it for her.
Yeah.
But no,
He
I
just
slept.
wanted to
I
make
remember
sure I was
He was,
okay. And clearly I was.
Yeah.
Like, and even like again, like they did ask me if I wanted to do Pitocin just to help speed things along. But thankfully I didn't feel like they were like trying to force it on me. I didn't feel like they were just trying to get me in and out. And I am very thankful for that because I know that that could have easily not been the case.
Right.
So when I told them I didn't want to do that, I was okay with it taking longer, especially because I was having relief from the contractions.
Right.
I was like, we can now. I don't
We're
care.
good.
We
You're
can
like,
be here
I'm
all
gonna
night.
sleep.
I remember asking, like, is this epidural gonna run out? And they were like, no. I was like, all right, then we're good.
Great. Then we're good.
Then I'm good.
Why
We
are we
can-
speeding things
I'm
up?
cool to keep going nice and slow here. So she
I
ended up
remember
coming
that.
Tuesday morning.
Yep. I remember,
Yeah.
right, because it's like, what's the rush? Like, let's let the body do what it, it
Exactly.
wants to do. And
Yeah.
there was,
And 10 days early.
oh my God.
Here she was.
Here she was. Oh my goodness. Tell us a little bit about just like that early postpartum. I know you mentioned about having the village with food. What are some things
Yeah.
that can like happen in that?
So
Period.
we had planned for my mom to stay with us for the first week. Which was definitely helpful. So she like cooked and did a lot of the clean. I was breastfeeding, so
Yeah,
a lot
yeah.
of like the time with her
Yeah.
just naturally fell to me.
Yeah.
So it was nice to have help with the house and meals and maybe being able to take a quick nap, even though they did have to wake me to be like, hey, sorry, but I've tried everything I can and she's definitely hungry, so we need you now.
So we need your boobs now.
Yeah, like you're up. And then we did have to just go to the pediatrician like pretty much like the next day. Or the day after
The day
for
after,
a weight check.
I always get mad about that trip because I'm like, yo, we just got home.
Right, like I'm
can we
like
talk about that?
still walking kind of slow.
Right.
And now I gotta go into the doctor's office with this new baby, and it was a heat wave. It's like 90 degrees outside.
Yeah.
But she was totally fine. So I do understand like why they had the caution with me with her weight. But one of the things that we had talked to them about was, so Alvin's family was telling us that like apparently a lot of South Indian babies are on the smaller side. And then like we're both not tall people.
No, I was like, those are very petite
Like,
folks. Yeah.
Like there were a lot of reasons to support why she was like, even now, like she's a smaller 1-year-old than like she's probably like the shortest kid in her class or something, you know? So we did get the placenta tested because at this point I was curious. But when the results came back, like there was
everything
no
was fine.
like issue with the placenta. She just was a small baby.
Small baby,
So I am glad that everything worked out the way that it did.
Yeah.
I didn't really have to end up being forced to make that decision because
Yeah.
she made it for me.
Yeah.
Which I was very thankful for. I think that like bringing her home, like definitely I was not, even though you talk about things, experiencing them is different.
Yeah.
I don't think I was prepared for like just how like emotional postpartum is, like with your hormones being all crazy, even though I knew I'm not typically like a super, super emotional person.
Mhm,
It's like
mhm.
literally the first day we got home, I cried because the dog barked at her. I
Yeah.
was like, how is this gonna work with the
Right.
dog and the
Yes. Yeah, of
baby?
course. Of
Like,
course.
and then she slept more at the hospital. She didn't sleep when we got home.
No, it's that I'm telling you, it's that day when you get home. I swear to
Yes.
you, they go through like a bird, what is it called?
It's like a hunger
Yeah,
thing
like
though. Like they're
something
hungry.
happens and you were fine in this hospital.
You
And
know
now
what I'll say?
you're
If you have a birth at a hospital and they give you
Yeah.
that little packet of information,
Yeah.
read it because it said that in the packet.
Did
It said like around
it?
like day 4, like they might have like a growth spurt and they're gonna want to cluster feed. And even if you feel like you just fed them, they probably need to be fed
Yeah,
again. And then you had actually sent my husband a voice memo
I did.
about that,
I
like trying
did.
to prepare us, but he didn't open the message
He
because we were
opened
just,
it after
busy
it
with the
happened,
newborn.
right?
So after we survived that horrible night, I read the little book the hospital gave.
That's
He listened to your
funny.
voicemail. We were like, so I was supposed to just stay up all night. We did fine. It's totally fine. So then we were prepared for the next time.
I know. I try to send it like that day because I know that it's just a lot of information, right? Like you just
Yeah.
gave birth. Who has time? So I'm always like
Yeah.
trying to figure out what's the perfect time
If
to listen
only
to it. If
he listened
only
to it
he had.
before that night, but it's totally fine. It's okay. It all worked out.
Yeah.
Everything is a learning experience.
Yeah. So tell us, like, as we're finishing off, like, what does positive birth mean to you, and kind of like what advice or even maybe like affirmation that you would like pass on to like the next person.
I feel like positive birth is going to look differently for everybody.
100%.
Like for example, I know somebody who had a C-section and it was
Mhm,
planned and it was
mhm.
a positive birth experience,
Mhm,
whereas for
mhm.
me, I did not have a C-section.
Mhm, mhm.
So I think that positive birth is just getting your baby here,
Yeah.
getting your baby here safely,
mhm.
having people like surrounding you that are encouraging you along the way, uplifting you, and just also like being heard throughout the experience. Especially when it's your first. Actually,
Yeah.
scratch that. It doesn't have to
It
be your
doesn't-
first
yeah,
because
yeah.
it can be your second or
Mhm.
third, but your pregnancy and your labor, your birth could be going completely differently.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
just like making sure that you have like hopefully at least one person
Yeah.
around who can help like advocate for you
Mhm,
and
mhm,
all
mhm.
that good stuff. Reminding yourself like your body was made to do this. Yeah, like really like your body was like made to do this and like
Yeah.
you can do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you're capable.
Yeah.
You have what you need even if you feel like you don't.
Even if you feel like you don't.
Yeah.
I love that. Thank you. Oh my God. Thank you so much. Thank
No
you so much
problem.
for coming. I'm just like so grateful. It's really cool to like relive the story too.
Yeah.
Like not everybody on the podcast, like I'm not everybody like I'm their doula, right? So this
Right.
is also like super
Yes,
special. 'cause
so
I'm
I
like,
guess special edition. I don't know
Yeah.
how many of your guests also,
right.
but this is a special case
Yeah, this
where
is
you were
special.
my actual
Yes,
doula. So you were
yes.
there for this whole entire thing, even down to the bathtub leaking through
To
the ceiling.
Yes, 100%. And I'm honored and I'm so grateful. And I am so grateful. Until next time, we will be here next week for another positive birth story. Again, share this with another mama and someone else who can be encouraged because we really are talking about, changing the narrative around birth, right? There's good births that happen and they look different, right? They look different because we're also different. So hit that subscribe, notification, all the things, and see you next week.